right, in this episode, we're going to talk to modelers that just installed Sparx and need a quick start. So you just launched Sparx, and this is what your screen may look like, except you will not have any recents and you will not have any pinned. This will be blank. It may have the EA example file over in the recent column right here. You've watched my previous videos. You understand what open team repository, you'll learn that later, and you'll learn how to create and manage your model projects. You watched my previous videos, you know that this is the default layout for those that just installed. You have browser on the left, you have properties on the upper right, and you have notes in the lower right. First thing you're going to do is come under open and create new. You're going to go to the repository where you are planning on managing your projects, and you're going to give your project a name. It will show up under recents and it's loaded. Up at the very top, you'll see the project that you have loaded into your work area. With the browser over on the left, you'll see that the very first folder you have here is a root node. You can right click in here, you can add root nodes, you can add packages and do a lot more. We'll talk about in later videos. What we're going to do is use the menu option at the top of the browser, and we're going to add a package. And this dialog box pops up and it says that you're on the model root folder, and we're going to give the package a name. So let's just go ahead and call my first Sparx project, and we're going to create a diagram. You could package only, create a diagram, and you could use patterns, which is explained later in sessions. So we're going to create a diagram. We're going to hit OK. We get this dialog now pops up for a new diagram. Let's just add a class diagram. You have all these selections to go for depending on your version, installation, and configuration. We're going to use UML structural class diagram. We're going to hit OK. And it's now in the browser. Let's go ahead and open it. And now we have a blank work area, a blank diagram to work with. I suggest those of you that are just starting in Sparx, go back to the Start tab, and in the Start page, that's what this is called, you're going to see some tabs at the top. You can create packages by or from a pattern. You can add a diagram, any type of diagram, and you can get guidance. And you can step through this, and we'll give you guidance on what Sparx Enterprise Architect can do. Let's go back to create from pattern. Let's go to class diagram, and then starter class diagram. You have all these selections. Let's just pick the first one, explains what it looks like, gives you a lot of material, learning material to go through. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to create models, and we're going to add it to my project, this package right here. You can certainly select this. If you had other packages, you could add this package to that. What we're going to do is add this to what it's selected on, and we're just going to create models. So it's going to right now. Let's go ahead and launch it. So it added a starter class diagram in here with A and B, and you can start to add to this after we add a toolbar, which we're going to do next. Let's add a toolbar to our workspace. Okay, browsers here, work area is here, properties is here, notes is here. What we're going to do is we're going to add a toolbar to our workspace. We're going to be on the Start tab right up here. You'll learn about tabs in other videos that we have in this channel. From the Start tab here, we're going to go to Design, and then you're going to see the tools that are available to you in Design, the first one, and over here in Diagram, you see Toolbox. Let's go ahead and click on it, and it added a toolbox to the right of the browser. Let's now put these windows. This is the browser window. This is the toolbox window, work area window, properties window, and notes window. Let's put the toolbox where is best for us. And what we're going to do is we're going to select toolbox, hold down the left mouse button, and we can start dragging around. You'll see these markers pop up. allows you to drag and drop the window in your workspace area. I'm still holding down the left mouse button. I want to put it to the left of the browser. Now we're free to add other elements. I'm going to go to the toolbox. I'm going to grab a class element, drag it out over here and just let go. And now I've added another class element in here that I can name. To manage any of the elements that are here, just double click on the element you want to manage. This dialog box pops up and we can give this any name we want. And we're just going to call it class 3. Just give it any name you want. In this dialog box, you have notes. You can put any intelligence, information that you want pertaining to whatever the elements are. You see the author of the element and other metadata. Right now, the language default is set to Java, and you can set this to none or any language that you want. It's optional. We'll leave it up to you. You have a version. Yours might be 1.0. I have all of mine set to 0.01 when they're initially created. You will learn about setting preferences in a later video. Other things within this dialog box are the ability to create requirements at the element level, set constraints, do scenarios, deal with files, link to other files, whether they're in a file share or on the web, and deal with or see what links may be relevant to a particular element. What we're going to do right now is we're just going to hit OK. And now we have this other element that is in our work area. What we're going to do now is we're going to draw a line, an association from class B to class 3. We can do it a couple of ways. One, over in the toolbox, you see class relationships. These are relationships that are applicable to class diagrams. We're just going to select associate, and you see a hand over the cursor. We're going to select class B and hold down the left mouse button, drag it to class 3 and let go. And now we have drawn a line, an association between these two classes. The other way to draw a line between class or elements is if you select an element, you'll notice that these menu icons pop up for you. The first one is this up arrow. If we hold down the left mouse button on this, we drag it to where we want the association to go to, and we let go. And now we can pick what type of lines that we want to use. We're going to use association. And now we've got a line that is associated from class A to class 3. If we select the line or the association and we double click on it, we get a dialog box that pops up that allows us to put a name on the line as well as type a lot of notes. So what we're going to do is we're just going to type in interface right here in the description, interface, and we're going to hit OK. And you can see this line now has been named. Next, what we're going to do on our line is we're going to select anywhere on the line, and we're going to hit the Control key and Q, and you can see it added a break in this line, and you see the cursor change to this what looks like a plus line with arrows off each end. I can drag and hold that down with the left mouse button, and I can let go anywhere I want. I'm going to put it right there. And now I have a break and I've organized my lines between my class elements. You see this little asterisk in the tab next to the diagram name? That means the changes have been made and we need to save it. We can hit Control S. Now it's been saved and the asterisk is gone. All right, pay attention to this when you're modeling so that you ensure that you're saving your changes when necessary. Next, let's set up the workspace that's most productive for us. So what I like is to have the browser. I'm going to hold down the left mouse button after I click on the top here, and I can drag it anywhere I want. And what I want to do is I want to put it over this window. So I can put it to the left, to the right, the top, the bottom. If I go to the middle, I'm able to drag and drop the browser right here. And now you can see the browser is in the upper right. I would like to have properties in the lower right. So I'm going to select properties. I'm going to hold down the left mouse button, and again, I can drag it anywhere I want, and I am going to put it in the lower right over notes. Now I have notes and properties. So you're going to be adding more tools, more windows to your workspace, and then you're going to create customized workspaces that work best for you. Let's go ahead and save our workspace layout. So if I go to Workspaces on the Start tab, you see All Windows Group or Panel, you see Workspace. So I'm going to select it, and now I can have choices of Workspaces or My Workspaces. And then you can see these are all the custom user layouts that I currently have. What we're going to do is we're just going to go to My Workspaces, and this dialog pops up, and it's focused on My Workspaces. So these are all my custom workspaces. These are all by the dark red icons. These are system workspaces. Play around with these after you save your workspace, otherwise you're going to lose it unless you create a new one. So we're going to create a new workspace, and we're just going to call it a demo, right? And then leave the checkbox here, include active custom views. So anything you've added, include those. That's relationship matrices. You'll learn later. Other windows that are used in your modeling layout. We're going to go ahead and save, right? Now up in the upper right, you see these two icons. If I select this icon, automatically brings up Workspace. And then I have, these are all the defaults. These are the tools. You'll learn about ribbons, save workspace, working sets later. And you can see a demo is here. Let's go ahead and check this out. We're going to select default, take it back to the factory default layout. So what Sparx is going to do is it's going to organize the workspace back to the factory, which is browser on the left, properties in the upper right, and notes in the lower right. Well, let's select this again. We can see these are our user layouts that we've customized. Here's a demo, the one we just did. Let's go ahead and select it. Now what you see is what we just saved. That's the toolbox on the left, browser in the upper right, properties and notes in the lower right. All right, that concludes this episode. We're going to wrap up now. What you've learned in this video is how to start your own project. You've learned the start page and what you can do, what these tabs are to help you further your learning, create other new projects, get to the most recent projects. You'll learn how to pin projects, and later simply do that by right-clicking on it and then pin connection. You're allowed to have 10 pinned as well as 10 recents that are in your work area. You learn how to deal with my first project, create a diagram. You learn how to add a starter class diagram. You learn how to add elements from the toolbox, draw associations, manage your lines and associations. You've also learned how to create workspace, your own custom workspaces. So you can select workspaces, dialog box pops up, My Workspaces, create your custom workspaces that are most productive for you and what you're doing. You'll learn a lot more about this in this channel just by following the playlist. You can search the channel for particular videos. Leave comments down below, good or bad. Let us know what you're learning, what you're not learning, and what videos that you're interested in that we may have already created and will help you get there. All right. So thanks again for watching. And until the next time we talk, happy modeling.